The same as producers, consumers also have advanced settings. So let's talk about them. Let's first take a look at the settings that we have, configs that we have for the standard consumer. So we have a server address, we have a deserializer, key deserializer, value deserializer, and we have a group ID config. We talked about that in our previous episode. So basically, what is group config ID, right? So when we are creating a consumer joins a group with a unique group ID. So for example, let's say that we have created 20 consumers, each of them will be allocated to the unique group ID. And also Kafka ensures that each partition is read by only one consumer in a group. So that's regarding to the consumer groups. Again, we have talked them in our previous episode. And the next one is the offset. So what is the offset? Offset is that the partitions are ordered logs basically, and each message has its own offset. So offset tracks a consumer's position. So Kafka also have a special topic. It's called the consumer offset, where it stores where each consumer left consuming messages. So for example, let's say that we have a consumer 2 which has crashed, or which has stopped the read the messages after some point. When we are restarting that consumer, it will start exactly from wherever it left, and we are storing that information in the consumer offset topic. Information about what is the offset of that for that particular consumer. The next one is that the rebalancing. What rebalancing is when the consumer joins or leaves the group, then partitions are redistributed among the consumers. Let's say that we have 3 consumers and they are consuming from the 3 partitions, each of them consuming from one partition, right? And let's say that the one consumer has crashed. Now in that case, one of the consumers should consume from the 2 partitions. And in that case, what consumers do is they pause briefly during the rebalancing, and they are starting to read from then one of them start to read from the one partition, and another one start to read from the 2 partitions. And the last one is that the auto and the manual commit. By default, so we have seen earlier, right? We have discussed that earlier also, we have seen in the previous episode. So each partition has its own offset, and when by default they are committed, offsets are committed automatically every 5 seconds. So consumer consumes the messages, and every 5 seconds we are taking a snapshot which message consumer has consumed. But let's say that we want to, that's how we are doing that automatically. But let's say we want to do that manually. Let's say that we have read the message and the consumer hasn't processed that, or there is some issue with the processing and the consumer crashed, so that message is lost, right? We have read that message, but we never actually acknowledge that what is the exact offset for that consumer. So to do that, what we are doing is we are committing the offset manually, right? So for example, in this example, what we have here is we are creating a Kafka consumer, and in the Kafka consumer, so we are consuming from the test topic that we have seen earlier for the producer, right? And so what we do is here we are creating a consumer record, and we are pulling every 1 second. We are pulling from the Kafka topic, and we are printing those messages. So here we are simulating the processing. We are processing the message, and after processing, so what we do is this method is just empty, so we are simulating the processing. And what we do is we are manually committing that here, right? So we are manually committing. It's a commit. So we are synchronously committing the offset. But what we can do is there are other options. For example, we can do that async and so on, right? But for the sake of simplicity, for this example, we are manually committing that. Now let's go and run it and see that it works as expected. Let's go to our producer that we have seen earlier, and let's now run our producer and produce the messages to that topic and to the to our topic of test topic, and we are going to consume from the same topic. Now let's go and first produce the messages. So messages are sent to the topic, and now let's consume the messages here and manually commit the offset. Now, as you can see here, messages are, yes, as you can see here, offsets are manually committed here.